This is Carlos Boozer. This is a sampling of Cleveland Cavalier fans. These two parties got along great for 2 years. What about the rest of time? Well, tell your cardiologist to beat it. We're eating beef. By the by, wanted to let you know we have a Patreon that has new stuff every week. Some experimental, some tried and true, some in between. All very fun, in my personal opinion. Now, where were we? Carlos Boozer had a wonderful experience at Duke, declared for the draft as a junior, and expected to go in the middle of the first round. But instead, the undersized big man spent the night sweating and making a list of whom to get revenge upon, as one does when humiliated. Boozer was eventually chosen in the second round, 35th overall, by the Cleveland Cavaliers. And thanks to being drafted by a team that was hoping to soon be up and coming, the second-round rookie got the opportunity for revenge, which he seized, and squeezed even tighter his sophomore season. Alongside a promising young rookie, Boozer blossomed into the league's fifth-best rebounder and a double-double machine. I'll stop playing coy. It was LeBron. The rookie was LeBron James. And he and Boozer seemed like a match made in Heaven University's science department. The fans loved Boozer as much as they reasonably could. He was polite to stadium staff and media members, and played with a toughness that made the city proud. People envisioned multiple championships for the Burgundy and Gold, with LeBron as the Michael Jordan and Boozer as the Dennis Rodman/Horace Grant. He was almost as important to Cleveland's bright future as LeBron himself. But he wasn't paid like it. He was stuck in his second round of the draft level contract. There was an option to let him out of his contract, however. And after his breakout 04 season, Boozer and his agent asked Cleveland for a meeting to discuss the whole grossly underpaid, rising star who everyone likes situation. Management granted him a meeting. Let's set the stage. The meeting took place on June 30th, 2004. The timing was delicate. According to collective bargaining agreement rules, the Cavs had to decide what to do with Boozer's contract before midnight, but they could not make a new verbal deal until after midnight. They also could not sign anything until July 14th. In the room, on one side of the table, you had Boozer, his wife, and his agent. On the other side, you had GM Jim Paxson, owner Gordon Gund, and other Cavalier staff. This side of the table liked this side of the table, and vice versa. So, what did everyone want to get out of this meeting? This side wanted a long-term, fair contract as soon as possible. This side wanted Boozer to be with them for the long haul. Great. Seems like everyone's pretty aligned. Paxson laid out the options to get what everyone wanted. The team could let Carlos out of his contract and then sign him to a new contract for $40 million over 6 years. Sounds good. Let's do it. Hold on. $40 million over 6 years is still underpaying Boozer. It's just the most the Cavs could give him with the salary cap bearing down on them. And it gets trickier. If they let him out of his contract, he becomes a free agent. He doesn't have to sign with the Cavs again. He could sign with a team that doesn't have salary cap restrictions and could pay him more than $40 million. So the Cavs really had to trust that Boozer wanted to stay with them enough to give up tens of millions. I want to take a minute here and just collectively wonder why the Cavs would be interested in taking this risk. Why they were even volunteering to pay him more money than they had to for the 2005 season. Just to be nice and do their guy a solid? Wow. Oh, looks like the Cavs would actually be saving money in the long run if they did this. So then, the question was, could the Cavs trust Carlos Boozer wouldn't sign with another team for more money? And there were reasons to say yes. The Cavs were clearly a fit for Boozer. LeBron James was on the Cavs. Boozer had just gone house hunting in a wealthy area of Cleveland. His agent was in the meeting, which lends credibility. And, here's a big one. In the meeting itself, a source later revealed Boozer said, "If you respect me by not picking up the option," in other words, by letting him out of his contract, "I'll show trust and loyalty to you by signing with you." So Paxson and Gunn grabbed each other's hands, nodded once, and took the leap. On July 1st, 2004, it was official. Boozer was a free agent. Boozer released a statement saying he wanted to stay in Cleveland and he was grateful to the team that took a chance on him in the draft and gave him minutes early on. So, seemed like there wasn't going to be any drama. There were rumors other teams weren't even talking to Boozer because it was a waste of time. He wasn't moving. And if you can't trust a rumor, what can you trust? One day after those statements of loyalty, Boozer disconnected a phone he had been using to communicate with Cavs management. The next day, Boozer reportedly told people there was no deal with the Cavs in place. Over the July 4th weekend, big men not as good as Boozer got contracts that were better than $40 million over 6 years. July 5th, Boozer told Paxson he was going to test the market. 3 days after that, Boozer accepted an offer of $68 million from the Jazz. And just like that, the Cavs lost Carlos Boozer. And possibly their future? Everyone took heat from every angle. Boozer was a greedy backstabber who deserved... well, comments ranged in intensity. Cavs management was a bunch of morons. Boozer's agent also felt fans' wrath. The intense kind. Not loving the backlash, Boozer's agency dropped him, and his agent resigned. So, wait, did the fans have beef with Boozer, or the front office, or the agent, or everybody? That will be cleared up shortly. Because on July 13th, Boozer told his side of the story. He said he was surprised and confused when the Cavs let him out of his contract. He insisted there was no deal because that would have been against the rules. The Cavaliers must have gotten mixed up. Saying he wants to be in Cleveland doesn't mean he's going to do what he wants. He also claimed that over the July 4th weekend, the Cavs told him he'd never be an all-star with them. He'd always be a role player, because that's how you talk to a player you're actively trying to convince to sign with you for below market value. Nobody bought what Boozer was saying. In fact, his defense produced a "he thinks we're stupid" response from fans. The same day Boozer's side of the story hit the press, Gund, the Cavs owner, known as a benevolent man who was also blind, wrote a letter to fans. In it, he took full responsibility. He trusted Boozer, and the team lost out. Very different approaches to criticism. Defensive versus owning up. Owning up won. The narrative became Boozer deceived a blind man, and the city of Cleveland unleashed beef upon Carlos Boozer and his family. They didn't literally throw beef, they opted for tomatoes and eggs. The Boozers had suspicions FedEx was purposely not delivering their packages. His wife was pulled over for basically no reason other than her license plates reading "C Booze." And it's probably a good rule of thumb that if your name rhymes with an insult, you should avoid angering an entire region of the country. 2 Cleveland designers made the website carlosloser.com. It got about 20 to 30,000 hits a month, and answered the age-old question, can beef be art, with a resounding yes. The website creators attempted to laugh through their pain with drawings like this one where Boozer is buddying up to Benedict Arnold, and this one where he's gobbling up money like a fat, fat turkey. There was an overall summary of the Boozer saga, presented as an animated Star Wars parody in which Boozer was Darth Vader, but a Darth Vader motivated by money instead of power, as you can see here, while he uses the Force to rob Yoda. The effort involved in this site is impressive and staggering, and perhaps a window into how much pain the fans had to laugh through. Did Boozer ruin their team? Or maybe it was just fun to punch back when you're otherwise helpless. Probably a little of both. They sold t-shirts with their drawings, and I know this is Cleveland versus Boozer, but it seems worth noting that t-shirt sales were international. The website also included a countdown until Boozer visited Cleveland again. The designers planned a Loser-Palooza party at a nearby bar, but Boozer didn't show. To the game, or Loser-Palooza either for that matter, though I don't know if he was invited. He was injured and didn't travel with the team. Fans booed him during the game anyway. After the game, Cavs coach Paul Silas was asked about Boozer's absence. His response wasn't immediately publicized, but an apology for his response was. He also called Boozer to apologize, and was fined $10K. Jeez, what'd he say? A radio show eventually revealed Silas referred to Boozer as a see you next, not Monday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday or over the weekend. Look, I'm not gonna say it. I know everybody wants me to, but I'm not gonna say it. Due to more and more injuries, Boozer didn't come back to Cleveland until nearly 3 years later. Time had not eroded the beef. CarlosLoser.com, which was still running, called his return in 2007 the Day of Reckoning. The crowd booed and chanted until their voices gave out. They called his jersey a car rag. After the game, Boozer stuck to his story, insisting he never had a deal with the Cavs because it would have been illegal, convincing no one. The following season, he met a similar reception in the Forest City. Same with the season after that. This is 5 years removed from his leaving. Why is this beef so potent? Why doesn't time erode it? I mean, the relationship between Boozer and the Cavs started out so good, so maybe it just had far to fall? That makes sense. But there's more. This beef is lodged in the arteries of Cavs fans, not just because Carlos Boozer betrayed them, not just because his defense was annoying and disingenuous, not just because Cleveland is good at holding a grudge, but because of the what-if factor. Boozer had been a great compliment to LeBron. Then he blossomed into an all-star power forward with the Jazz. He was called one of the best 20 players in the league. What if this guy was beside LeBron? Would the Cavs have won a title or two? Would LeBron have taken his talents to South Beach? These questions keep the beef alive and well. Although, to be fair, Boozer playing badly also fed the beef. Boozer's career didn't continue on that all-star path, and Cleveland delighted in his struggles. They even rewrote history a bit, claiming they never liked him in the first place. There was no mention of him being polite to staff or being the second favorite or the Horace Grant. Instead, they said he was a stat chaser with the Cavs, always putting himself first, classic loser. It shouldn't be glossed over that the city of Cleveland is really good at holding a grudge. 19 years later, in 2023, Boozer said there was even more to his side of the story. He claimed that during free agency in 2004, the NBA called him and said that if he re-signed with the Cavs, they were going to investigate him for tampering and making an illegal deal. Cleveland fans were unmoved. The narrative of conning a blind man, of costing a city LeBron and multiple championships, is a tough one to come back from. There is nothing Carlos Boozer could do or say or reveal that would change the mind of the Cleveland fan base, as evidenced by the top comment on a Reddit post of Boozer's 2023 they would have called tampering article. The commenter says, "Not even gonna read the article. He done them wrong when they tried to do right by him. My opinion of him will never change." Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you to my dad. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes and in front of them. Looks like they're playing me off. So, let me just say, like, subscribe, hit up Patreon, and keep watching. For Secret Base, I'm Clara Morris. Good night and good game.